here.
So we'll see how I'm here.
Yeah. No, I'm saying we'll just go through the new stuff. I want to go this.
Oh yeah, we don't need to go through the old stuff, right?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we're back online. We are doing part 3 of our ladder class. Today we're going to work on a lot of quick feet. So you'll see the exercises we use to produce a little bit faster feet and movement. So we're about, I think, a few minutes ahead. I'm going to make an announcement and try to get some folks over here and see how it goes, man. Anybody interested? We are doing ladder work. Today's stuff will be mostly on quick feet, jab work. Rotational work is tomorrow. Everyone's welcome to join. All right, buddy. All yours.
For people to walk over.
Yeah, we could just talk about. I mean, if you want, just talk a little bit about what these exercises are, why we would do them, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm Sivrid, and so the last couple days we've had Sivrid did a great job introducing why we do this ladder work. One of the things he talked about and emphasized is the idea that you really want to stay centered and stacked over your hips. So the part of what we're doing is moving around so that we're moving our hips, keep the hip orientation towards the opponent, but also not leaning forward, not leaning sideways, but moving with your hips. And so leading with the hips, how you're moving, and working with that. So the last couple times of going through, just do a quick recap of a couple of different pieces that we did last time. So we started off, again, that the idea is you want to keep yourself knees slightly bent, feet in your normal stance, whether your stance is 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, but we'll do these in your stance. And then we're going to work with you, so as you move forward, you're moving your hips forward, you're pushing your hip over and then stepping, or and then moving. And so one way to think about it is when you're going forward, think about you have a rope and your belly button pulling you forward from that rope and pulling that entire hips forward. Or another way to think about it when you're going backwards is you're sitting on a rolly chair, going backwards. So a lot of the steps we went through for the first couple times we just did very simple, just moving forward with small feet, just one step in each box. And the whole idea with the ladder here, you can use pretty much any kind of thing for a ladder, whether it's tape on the floor, whether it's spray paint on the ground, whether it's a formal ladder you can get for like $10 from Amazon. You can work on all those, and the idea is mainly just to have a visual reference for your spacing. In our practice, we just use the squares on the floor of the gym. And so, to start off with, we're looking at just small feet.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to get a steak. I have a steak over there.
Feet, we're just kind of moving through, as I said. The first one is just going through step, step, step. So you want to join through, and we'll just do a quick run through. I can go this way, actually, away from the camera. Go get it.
I don't know what's going on.
And then you go through doing the other foot, going first forward. And again, just a lot of it is just thinking about small feet and moving from the hips. The next thing we went through was gather step. And so with the gather step, what we're doing is we're first stepping apart and then gathering together. Step apart,
I don't know if you're on
together,
here.
step apart, gather together, step apart, gather together.
Yep.
And so the whole point with this one, when we're doing gather step, again, we're sitting here.
Hold up 1 second. Sorry, audience. We had camera issues, so we are actually still online. We're good. Right, yep, we're still online. We just flipped to something else, and I'm trying to adjust the camera.
All right. So again, we're moving from the hips. You're leaning with your hip. You're stepping.
He has an authorization.
And stepping, and so you're leaning over. Weights over that foot. Weights over that foot. Weights over that foot, and you're stepping. So that's the basic drop step or gather step. Drop, gather, whatever. We do like this. You can work with this point towards grip. You're going.
Huzzah! Huzzah! All right. So let's go ahead. Yep. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Just fall into that step. Now try to keep your hips always pointed in the same direction.
Point down the ladder with your hips.
Yep. That way you don't have hip change too much. So here we are. Much better. As long as you know that hip, like dropping into the hip, this is really the biggest part of the quick movement. Is a lot of part. This is why we're showing the drop hip a little more.
Moving that hip first.
Because the hip is a huge part of the fast stuff. So let's go ahead and start working on your class. I think we're ready to go. William's coming over now.
Coming over, he just finished optimization. So today we're going to go through some of the different things. So one of the things we're going to start with is instead of running down the ladder, we're going to be going sideways down the ladder. And in this case, what we're doing is just a jab step. So I'm going to start in and put foot in and back out again. So you're starting with whichever foot's forward, in, and then back out. And you can do this as kind of a two-piece movement, and then it gets quicker as you go along. One of the things to be very careful about, which I'm always bad about, is when you put your foot forward, you don't want to rotate it. You want to keep it pointed straight or a little bit out towards your outside. So again, we're here. Let's do a jump jab. So in, out, in, out, in, out. And again, you're moving the hips forward. Pull. And you're not just trying to move your feet. You're moving your whole torso forward and backwards.
The idea is you're dropping into the box, fall, and dropping out of the box, fall. Yeah, perfect. Good job. That's it. You'll see some variations if you watch boxing videos they're doing for speed. They'll start actually kind of cheating with their body on those. They'll do a little bit of this just to get speed going. Right? Yeah, or they'll start flipping sideways a little. And that's nothing wrong with that. It's just speed. But we try to do it the right way. Body in, body out.
Body in, so your whole hips moving forward, and then you come to the other side of the ladder, do the same thing, only you do it with the other foot, because everything we should do with one foot, you should be able to do the other way with the other foot. Yeah, you can't just flip feet.
So this one's a simple jab. All you're doing is get right next to it. Think about I'm going to this spot, just like we've been doing. And you just fall into the spot, and then you drop your butt, fall back, and then drop in, fall back, drop in, fall back. Good. Big piece is not the
So you come over to the opponent, as it were.
There you go.
So what is this used for? A lot of times, if you're just thinking about quick jab step.
Yeah. Now do it with the other foot.
And you're throwing a shot, either with that jab, so it gives you a chance.
Here you are. Yes. Yes, and then you're out of range. Throw it. Out of range.
Right back out of range.
Out of range, right? Good. Yeah. Exactly.
I gotta give this baby a big
So that's the.
Yep. Did your other foot?
Go ahead and do the other foot, going down the other
I
way.
can see how this would be useful to apply with a passing step.
Yes, exactly.
Can I try that?
Yeah, go out. And a key on if you're going to do a passing step, just make sure on that passing step you're not turning in at all. So that foot angle is the biggest piece of that. All right, what do you got next?
I have my contacts in. I can't read my
Oh, you
phone.
can't read the phone?
Started with jab jump,
Switch foot.
switch foot, and then half touch.
Switch foot. Switch foot. So the next one we're going to do is you start in, you think about where you're starting. Starting, you may be in the stance, 1 foot forward, and then so it's a matter of just doing a switch foot. So I'm going to take this foot back, the other foot forward at the same time. And why do we do this? So many reasons, but one of the reasons we do this, so here, our shield is, so here, This is how far close I am to my shoulder without putting my shoulder forward. Switch foot. Now all of a sudden I gained 5 inches just by standing here. My head hasn't moved, so there's no obvious change in range. But I have multiple inches in range gain. So just being able to do this quickly, I'm here. Ross is even bringing his sword to demonstrate exactly what this looks like. So again, here I am. Here.
Much closer.
And I have.
This really works with wraps.
Yeah,
There he is. He throws a wrap from there. See now, there's the tip. Now switch. Now look where it's at.
And my body is still stacked. I'm not leaning forward to gain that range. All I've done is gone from here to here.
Does that shift in footwork also increase a little bit of power?
It can throw. You're getting a little bit more
When you
speed
throw that,
in your hip, rotational
You're already
hip.
moving your hip in.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
So, but it's a matter of timing. Sometimes it'll be here and then throw because you've gained that range. And if the person doesn't notice that you've shifted,
Then you have opportunity.
then
right?
you can pressure someplace else and throw.
The other piece on that is come here for a second. And we showed this one a little bit the other day. Here we are. You're pretty comfortable, right? We're pretty far away. Are you guys comfortable?
No.
Right? But there's that feel of comfortability here, right? And then as soon as I do this, yes, now you have to make a decision because time state. They do this a lot in Thai boxing to specifically do that and throw for them feet.
So you're changing the pressure. You're changing. But so the way we practice this is we start off here, switch foot, and just go down. Move down the ladder, switching foot back and forth. You just go down the ladder. Ideally, you're not doing what I'm doing, which is your head shouldn't bob up and down at all. Look at something. Far wall of the tent.
Minimal bounce.
Now look at the far wall of the tent.
There you go. Good. Yep. Yeah, our favorite. Thank you. Good. Yep, that's it. Now keep nice and level. Look at keep nice and level. Good. Yes. Yes. Okay. Nice and flat. Keep your eyes right on me. Bounce it down. Now try to do it without bouncing. Right there. You're getting better and better each time, right?
I should be able to do it. Look at how her head is not going up and down. So one of the things to work on is to start with that squat. I started fighting in 95. And you have the ability to do that without staying a little bit. So that's just so that what
Everybody be careful of the weather today. Ready? You can look at me. Go ahead. It's hard, isn't it?
staying level, that's the anybody can tile around the legs.
That's it. Keep it nice and level.
Oh, I've already done one, but
Yeah.
Have you gone the other direction?
no, I haven't.
But I'm sure you one where you
And again, this exercise adds to putting more thought in your opponent's head while you're doing things. Not only is this a good agility exercise, but if I'm sitting way out here and I go, you're thinking about something totally different. So as you're thinking about something totally different, I can go into the next move while you're still thinking about my last.
Yeah, because all of a sudden I put pressure on the back side of his head,
Right.
and now I can move pressure someplace else.
All right, next. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Would I start a wrap as I'm doing the switch or at the end of the switch?
You can do either.
Because if you're doing while you're doing the switch, you got your hips moving, and you got that.
And in fact, I mean, to give you a feel, don't throw the sword hard, just touch. If I'm here, throw that sword, hit basket, bang, and then switch feet, and bring the sword back as you switch feet, and then get ready to throw your second one. So you really could throw at the beginning and at the end. That's up to you, right? So you just have to get the timing correct.
But just even being able to say, I'm in a fight, we're moving.
Switch your feet. Ah, see, yeah, you see, that changes a lot, doesn't it?
And all of a sudden, my shoulder is that much closer to your body, and that much deeper on a wrap.
If we switch at the same time, it's like
Then here's just, yeah.
stalemate.
Yeah.
But we both have gained the same advantage.
Right, exactly.
Right. Okay.
So the next one we're going to do is what we affectionately call hopscotch. This really is a quick feet exercise just to get your feet moving. And so this is not something you typically do during a fight, but you might actually use it. I know we talked about it's a good way to sometimes you might surprise someone because your feet are going in and out. But we're going to start here. I'm like this, and it's like hopscotch. One idea is keep your head level, keep your butt under you. Thing I always have problems with, that Dutch butt thing. Keep your butt under you. Here, we go out, in, both feet at the same time.
Nice, he's trying to keep nice and flat.
I'm not succeeding, but
So Sive,
yeah.
Sir Sive actually showed something, and I'm going to show you where this actually gets used once in a while. Go ahead, right here, so they can see. So what she brought up is we'll do a lot of fall-ins. So here I am, I'm falling, bang. So where are my feet now, right? I'm wide, I fell in, but I had to spread my feet because this is a long linear stance. So just as that's falling in, bang, and you pop those legs open and get that inside move.
And we'll do another one just after this, which even enhances that further.
Once you're in here and you're suddenly like, actually, I don't want to do this sideways thing anymore. I want to go back to my normal feet. You can just suddenly, now I'm ready to launch backwards or whatever.
Or you can just go.
From here, I can really kind of only go side to side because I'm squared up.
So again, all we're doing here, same thing. We're going to be going, start dropping your stance, out, both feet out, both feet in, both feet out, both feet in.
All right,
just
let's
down
go.
the rope. So go ahead.
And by the way, this is the suckiest one. We'll go from towards the camera.
Quads should be screaming at the end.
Yeah, if your quads haven't been screaming after the last couple days, they will today.
And if they're not screaming at the end of this line, squat deeper.
And as you get much better at this, then you can speed up like William. He's only been doing it for 4 years. 3.5.
William looks like a puppet.
Nice job on keeping that head flat. That was awesome. Just because we don't have to switch our feet.
Just because we have to. Everything that we do forward, we can do backwards. This one sucks backwards, but it's still a good idea. And the boy did what I just did, which was sticking my butt out.
This is really hard. You have to really get in.
Sit down. I did it badly. Ron did it right.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, push your rolling chair backwards. Yeah.
Nice job. Perfect. Your body's in perfect shape. Take your time. Got it. Good save.
Damn Australians.
Okay. The ladder's just kind of a reference point.
Yep.
I got it. My home practice, we literally just have square tiles on the floor. We just
I
use
thought it
that.
was bye. What are they doing? Probably I've heard that before. But
No, that was the first time.
I'm sure.
Again, that's, so things to keep on track of with that one is, again, keep your butt under you, keep body stacked. I did a bad job. The other ones were a better demonstration. And then the other thing is that you want to keep your head level. So the next thing we're going to do is actually a variant of that, the same thing. And that's going to be, instead of putting both feet out and both feet in, we're going to start both feet in, out, in.
And these are steps.
Out, in.
And you wonder, it's like, oh, well, this is just stepping. Now do it like we do it at home. As you understand how to do this and your foot time is right, we'll let William show it right on this ladder. Yeah, William the machine will show us. So this is what's literally happening. And what we're learning on this is very small feet.
And the other thing is,
Yes, exactly.
so the other thing with small feet is if I'm here, we're coming in. If I do that in and out, he doesn't know which way I'm going.
I'm going to tell you, if you didn't feel that, come over here and feel that in and out. That really, you're like, whoa, that outside foot.
Because again, my feet got outside of you. You don't know which way I'm waiting towards, and so it's a useful one. Not frequently, but just I don't know what to do against Bronos. He's doing it, messing everything else up.
Hey, Louie.
Yeah, and then I can go choose a side.
And the key is your feet are so small that your feet are almost always on the ground. so you can change your movement angle at any given time. Where as soon as I take a long step and somebody's in the same time, all through this step, I can't change. All right, let's do it.
So go ahead and walk through it.
Good. Good job on your head, too. Keep it nice and... Ooh, much better job on your head there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this time we get...
In, out, out.
Now, to do it a second time, start with your other foot. So, if we started here and started with this foot out, next time you're going to start with the other foot out. Now that sounds easy, but it actually sucks because you're used to doing things one way. So again, out, out, in. Just step it. I did switch orders. So, in. Oops, still. See, I screwed it up again. But for you. Out, in. Out. Do this slow.
So you have to do it fast to start off with.
Okay? Yep. Good. Yep, just do it that slow. You see what we're learning on this? We're actually, it's funny. We're learning actually how to be more dexterous with our feet, right? I mean, we feel like, hey, I should be able to do this, and next thing you know, you're like, I can't.
Well, one of the other things this really helps with is if you're trying to fake one direction, this is what your feet are doing. So you can move your feet out, and that will
Woo, I got to practice this one.
establish the feet.
Wow.
And just because
You're doing it backwards again?
forwards if you want to, but you can also do it backwards.
But if you're not ready for that, just keep doing it forward.
Dancing me?
Good, much faster that time.
Switch it up.
Got it. That's the idea. You're good. Good. That's the way. Just pick up those steps. Nice job on your head again. You're doing a really much better job today keeping flat.
You're at the back.
We actually have them. They'll be on
You're at the end. Slow them down somehow.
So the question was that somebody asked if it would be nice if we had a handout. And we actually do have a PDF that some of the folks in our group who have been doing this over COVID created. We'll post that up online when we get home, or maybe tonight, if we find it tonight. And these are also already in our drill section on the SCA Coaches Corner on YouTube.
You're at the end.
Yep. All right.
All right, so the next one we're going to do is again in, out, out, but it's doing it from the side.
Now we can sideways.
We're going to go sideways. We did one with a jump jab going sideways. Now we're going to do and switch foot. This is, kind of a cross between the last two things we've done. And again, we're going to do in, out, out. And again, move your whole body forward, whole body backwards. Don't just.
Another one where it'll be right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left the whole time. You never need to step with the same foot twice in a row.
And one of the things that becomes a temptation is you move your feet faster than your torso. So this one is one that you can also pendulum.
Yes, a common mistake. Pendulum. Know how my upper body isn't going anywhere.
That doesn't gain you much advantage when you're trying to hit somebody. So when you do this, you can go in and out, out, make your upper body go in and out. Slow it down if you have to.
So the additional layer of what's happening in a lot of these videos is you're learning actually how to control movement with the center of your body and not just your feet. The idea in a lot of this is Here's my body falling forward. Here's my body falling backwards. There's a small shift. I'm over my feet, fall forward. Over my heels, fall back.
And that's good.
That's good because if I'm fighting you and you start charging me and I drive with my feet, see what happens? It's really bad. But if I fall out, I can still throw and do other stuff.
Yeah, and so when you do this, you can do it going to the right to the ladder, going to the left to the ladder. It's good to practice going both ways. Again, you may not be going the same direction in a fight. So being able to practice leading in one direction and leading the other direction is really useful. So if I'm going this way, just turn it on to the other side of the ladder, go the same direction. Another thing I'm going to comment now that we're this far along in doing stuff is sometimes when you start off, you're looking at your feet. It's not a great, ultimately that's not where you want to be. So one of the things you can do if you bring your hands up in front of your face, so you're staring over your hands like you're in a guard. What you were doing before was just pulling out a sword, holding that sword, so that helps you keep yourself at the right height. And then ultimately, if you've been doing these a long time, put a shield up there, works your shoulder, and the thing to do then, you're not focusing on your feet as much. You're focusing on how do I keep my guard closed and tight, so that when I'm doing these things, I'm not going all over with my guard, but my guard stays up
Focusing
tight.
on your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing at one thing at a time. That's why we start out of armor with no other things except for the feet. So we focus first on getting the foot movements right and getting the body posture right. And then just sometimes it's useful just to look at someplace up just a little bit in the horizon. Like I'm looking at the trees over there. If I look at the trees over there, I don't lean forward. If I look at someone's feet down there, I automatically double over. That doesn't help me. So if you're doing this in a gym or something or in a room, look at a point up on the wall that's a little bit higher than your head. Keep yourself upright. So we have one more that we're going to do, and that is, so before we did this nice jump jab, just one forward, one back. So we do another one where we're going to be looking and taking, start here, I'm going to take a long jab forward and a short step back. So again, we call it 2 forward, 1 back. Again, long to throw in, back, step out of range again.
We're always really creative with our names.
Yes.
So 2 forward, 1 back, that's it. Yep. I guess you figure out, we're just using that to give you a rough idea. If you can't stretch 2 ladder rungs, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This is just the idea is a longer jab and a short step back. And not surprisingly, you can also do a short jab and a long step back.
Yeah.
Or you can do
A long jab back.
you can do a long step. Yeah.
Nope.
What did I do wrong? Oh, long jab.
Yeah, you did a passing step
There you
instead
go.
of a jab.
And so if I do this, so I'm going long back, short forward.
And the reason you would do that one, and it seems kind of weird why you would do something like that, is like, I'm getting ready to throw it. And then, but he gets back in the position. Yeah. He just doesn't stay out there where I'm like, oh, I can just walk away.
And the other one, so let's turn this way. So if I'm doing that long forward, short back, it's,
And then he's back
by
out
the
range.
time he's recovered from his block and reset, I'm not directly in that range.
Is there a difference between a jab and a gathering step?
So the jab, basically I'm moving both feet. My gather is typically
One foot and then the gather.
one foot to the gather.
Jab
But
is typically
functionally
more
I'm just faster than the other. Sometimes the jab, we're thinking about it because when you're thinking of throwing a drop box with the jab. And so when you think about that, it's just that in-out quick.
Yeah.
And it's still, when you're learning them, it's easier to start with 2 steps as a part of that motion. And eventually, you speed that up.
And he literally is falling into his front foot here, and that's what makes the difference. In the long jab, so in this
There's
long
both a
jab
fall and a
step,
push.
one good thing is you have the ladder to work and figure out how long the step. At first, if it's only this big deal. I don't care. Just as long as you're doing it. later you'll be like, look, I just made it past the first step, or I just made it to the second step. That way it gives you a feel for it. But the big part on this, again, we start forward. I'm going to lift this foot, but this time I'm going to push off these toes. And then back. Okay?
It's a push forward, not a push up.
Right. It's not a push up because the most direct path is forward.
And you also pop your head up when you push up.
That's correct.
Hips down.
Into the temptation to go sideways.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So what Cy just said, if you didn't hear it on the video, is don't go sideways, because that's actually not giving you the same motion. You want to keep that feet in line so you're going forward. And the other trick is, or thing to pay attention to, as you're getting the motion down, don't point your toe across, point your toe straight ahead on your lead foot. Why don't I know this? Because Bronos keeps yelling at me about it.
Good. And then what you're done doing. So once you're done with the one foot, then switch your feet, because you should be able to do this with the other foot.
Yep. Then you go instead of your sword foot forward or shield foot forward, go with your sword foot forward.
Doing your offside foot and you hate it, you feel terrible. Blame Will.
That's right.
But again, this is one of those that you say, hey, I can't do this well with my off foot. Well, we practice the things that we don't do well, not the things we know how to do perfectly. I thought hopscotch backwards was.
I need to do this one more because I'm definitely having to. Yep. There we go. Front foot. There we go. Good. Front foot again. There we go. Now, yeah, just think about being on the ball of your front foot when you land a little bit more.
Yep. There's one where it really helps be on the balls of your feet. You don't want to be on your heels.
So somebody just probably saw where I did one of these and my front foot went out. So the reason why your feet go out on you when you're on a slick floor is because your balance isn't over the foot that's landing. So what happened there is I jumped here, but my back was a little back. Not enough weight on this front foot to stop me and land me center, so that foot went out. So when you do that, don't take that as hey, I failed. Take that as, hey, I wasn't over my foot, and do it better. Fix that flop.
Yep. And the fix is,
It is super cool though when you do get it right and you have that time where you do that jump and you land on the front foot and your whole body in one pose just slides forward a foot because the grass was wet, and then you land and go, that was cool.
Yeah. You have to have a special garage to do that.
yeah.
There you go. A little harder backwards.
It's like I'm leaning forward. All my
Exactly.
weight's over
Going
here.
backwards, the same thing.
I can
So again, the backwards is just the long step backwards, step short, step forward. And I need to work on this one.
I did too.
switch your feet and see if I can.
So that brings us to the end of the different exercises we're going to cover today. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with covering rotational steps and rotational movement together with some of these steps.
Thank you, everyone.